Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the hidden mechanics of cryptocurrency transactions. If you've ever felt a little intimidated by the technical side of crypto, you are in exactly the right place. We're going to break it all down using the completely risk-free Xorvelis Sandbox, which is literally built from the ground up for sandbox practice for new users so we can learn by doing. So let's tackle a huge barrier to entry right off the bat. How on earth do you learn crypto without risking your hard-earned money? Seriously, staring at a screen, totally terrified to click send because you might make a costly typo, is not exactly a great way to learn. But a simulated sandbox environment? That's the perfect solution. It completely strips away the financial anxiety, letting you just click, experiment, and learn totally stress-free. Here's our roadmap for today's Explainer. We'll start with a welcome to the sandbox, move into making your demo claims, define what transaction confirmations actually are, explore why those confirmations matter, walk through the life cycle of a transaction, and finally, get you started on your own risk-free practice. All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, Welcome to the Sandbox, a safe environment. Think of the Xorvelis Sandbox as a flight simulator, but for crypto. For new users, getting your head around transaction confirmations can be tricky because, well, everything happens entirely behind the scenes in the code. The sandbox brings all that hidden magic to the surface. It gives you a dedicated space to explore exactly how confirmations work from start to finish without ever having to open your real wallet or risk a single cent. Moving right along to Section 2, making your demo claims and getting some step-by-step practice. Here is the exact 5-step process for your sandbox practice. First up, you'll hit the Wallet Basics page to generate a unique practice wallet and copy that address. Step 2, open the demo faucet, which is literally what it sounds like, a tool that drips free test crypto, and paste your address right in there. Third, submit your first demo claim. Imagine this as broadcasting a real transaction to the global network. Fourth, make a few more claims to see how that blockchain activity stacks up. And lastly, check your demo balance to see how it changes after every single successful claim. The real beauty here is the repetition. Since everything happens inside a closed loop, you can safely experiment over and over again with absolutely zero financial risk. Repeating this process really locks in your understanding of how multiple independent transactions are recorded, confirmed, and ultimately tied to a single wallet. You're basically learning the rhythm of the blockchain by tapping it out yourself. Next up is Section 3, Defining Transaction Confirmations. What actually is a confirmation? Let's look at this definition. A transaction confirmation is quite literally proof that a crypto transaction isn't just floating out there in the digital void. It proves the network has successfully verified it and permanently glued it to the blockchain. Fun fact, every new block that gets added after your transaction goes through actually bumps up your confirmation count. That makes your specific transaction far more secure and increasingly harder to reverse. Which brings us perfectly to Section 4, why confirmations matter for security and finality. Confirmations are the absolute bedrock of network trust. They protect you from fraud, they prevent what's called double spending, meaning someone can't use the exact same digital coin to buy a cup of coffee and a car at the same time, but most importantly, they ensure a transaction is mathematically final. This is exactly why almost all crypto services wait for one or more confirmations before they officially accept a transfer. Let's dig a little deeper in Section 5, the life cycle of a transaction and how it all works. Let's track the visual journey of your transaction. It kicks off with creation. That's you, generating it. Then comes the broadcast, where it's sent out to the entire network. Next up is verification. This is where miners or validators do the heavy lifting to check the transaction's legitimacy. And finally, confirmation, where it's permanently stamped into a block. The Xorvelis Sandbox models this exact workflow in a really beginner-friendly way, so you learn the core concepts without getting bogged down by the complex reality. So, on the left side here, an unconfirmed transaction is basically just waiting in line. Sure, it's instantly broadcast, but technically, it's still reversible. You can't fully trust it yet. But look at the right side. Once it becomes a confirmed transaction by being added to a block, it levels up. It becomes highly secure, locked in a digital vault, and incredibly difficult to reverse. Now, you should know that not every transaction confirms instantly. Busy blockchains take time. Confirmation times can totally vary based on network traffic, the specific design of the blockchain, current network activity, and even the priority level of your transfer. Think of it like a digital highway. If it's rush hour, things are just going to slow down. So you might be asking, how many confirmations do I actually need? Well, there's no magic number. As you can see, for a small personal transfer, one confirmation is usually plenty. But if you're making an exchange deposit, they'll probably want several. And for massive, high-value transfers, you're definitely going to wait for even more confirmations to guarantee absolute security before handing anything over.
Let's wrap up with Section 6. Start your risk-free practice and explore today.
By actually getting your hands dirty in the sandbox, these intimidating computer science concepts suddenly just click. Practice helps you master the workflows, internalize what confirmations really mean, and see firsthand how wallet balances shift and how the network verification process creates real security. And once you're comfortable making those demo claims, you can keep the momentum going with other beginner-friendly Xorvelis resources. Things like the Wallet Basics page, the main demo faucet, or specific tailored guides for coins like Litecoin, Dogecoin, and Tether are perfect next steps. Each one introduces a new slice of the crypto ecosystem while keeping things incredibly simple. If you're the type who wants to dive even deeper into the underlying tech after your sandbox practice, there are some fantastic external resources out there too. Trusted educational portals like Bitcoin.org and the Blockchain.com learning portal offer excellent beginner-friendly deep dives into wallets and blockchain intricacies. Which brings us to one final exciting thought for today's explainer. We've tackled the theory and we've laid out the tools. The only question left is, are you going to stay on the sidelines, or are you ready to jump into the sandbox and broadcast your first risk-free claim right now? Have fun exploring safely, and we'll catch you in the next explainer.